Hi everybody, welcome to Nitro. I'm Neil and today we're going to be looking at the GS Racing CL1 Ready to Race Buggy. Everything that you need to get up and running and be competitive straight out of the box is included here. There's a huge amount to get through, so let's check it out. Now, it's always a pleasure to review GS stuff because they're so particular about the way everything is. Everything has a really high quality feel to it. So starting out with the packaging, you can see the box at the back. It's really nicely detailed, full colour. There's a big window, and ordinarily when the model's in it, obviously you get to see the model straight away ahead of everything else. But even going beyond the box, inside the box where the radio is kept, they even go to a lot of detail with the packaging. This is the box for the radio, for example, nicely finished off and featured inside. So they really do pay a lot of attention to the detail in getting this package to look great. So the car itself is absolutely stunning. When you get it out, the packaging particularly, I've peeled off the covering that comes on to protect the body shell, and I've finished it off with a few stickers of windows and what have you, just to give you the overall effect. But it really is stunning. I particularly like this red version with the spider web design and the flames. It really stands out. All for the right reasons too. So anyway, we've got the car itself as you can see, but there's also with this package a number of other things, including a tool set. So we've got this wrench, which is a wheel wrench. It'll also do glow plugs, as well as a number of other things. We've got a smaller wrench too, for obviously smaller nuts and bolts. And then we've got this package with 4 Allen keys and of different sizes, and then obviously there's a separate one that's a large one, so you've got 5 Allen keys included. One of the really lovely touches that I like with this package is the immediacy of the ready to run. They include a glow start, and it's not just a glow start, it's a really nice blue anodized aluminium glow start. All you got to do, you put your glow start in here, it tones beautifully with the engine. So this is included, and I'd expect this to come separately in another package and have to pay more, but it's included along with this superb fuel bottle. Now it sounds a bit obvious, but when you buy a ready to run model, you get the model, then you buy the fuel, and then you suddenly figure out, well, hang on a minute, how am I going to get the fuel from the bottle into the car, into the fuel tank? And a fuel bottle is the way. Now it's included with this package, again toning in beautifully blue anodizing with this cap to stop any spillages. So that comes off. It's nice soft squeezy plastic to be able to control the flow of the fuel, and superbly finished off with the GS logo embossed in the side. So again, this is the sort of thing that I'd expect to pay extra for. Yet again, it's included. Now, I don't want to gloss over the radio too much here. It's a superb 2.4 gigahertz radio, and I want to focus in on that because there's a number of features on there which are not obvious, and they're really worth focusing in on. So we'll touch on that in a bit later. But then working round the table, excuse me, we've got a bag of plastic bits and pieces as you might look at it, but actually because this car is race focused and ready to go, you expect to be able to adjust it, and so there's lots of different plastic parts here to be able to adjust the ride height, the camber caster, that kind of thing. All of those race features that are important to dial the car into the perfect lap time, they're included here, as well as the packaging of this pre-oiled air filter element, which needs to be put on before you get fired up. So all of those tuning parts included. As well as we come round to the front, as he takes a breath, we've got superb illustrated manuals, one for the radio, one for the engine, and a comprehensive one for the car chassis itself. So in a nutshell, a absolutely complete package ready to go. So looking at the car itself in more detail now, underneath the body shell, which is, as I've already described, really beautifully finished. Finished on the inside as well, in fact, because that way it doesn't scratch on the outside, so it looks fantastic. Of course, you can buy your own clear body and do your own paint scheme for racing if that's what you want to do, but I think this is stunning on its own. So I'll put that aside, and underneath you get to appreciate what this model is all about. It's hard to ignore the Team Infinity 25 Nitro pull start engine here. This is a very, very strong, torquey motor, easy to start with the pull start mechanism here. Very reliable. It's not going to give you any stress, and of course that's one of the important features when you get into Nitro models. The last thing you need is problems where there don't need to be any, and these Team Infinity engines really do produce the goods in terms of reliability and performance. Okay, so we've got the engine here with the rear exhaust layout, the exhaust down the side here. Of course, just off there we've got this large CC fuel tank. I like the way that they detail a slot in there so you can put a little loop of cable tie. For those racers among you, you'll already know what that's about. And the way that this opens so that any dirt and what have you sort of comes forward, so you don't get additional grit in there. But there is a fuel filter at the bottom of the tank, so even if you do get grit in the tank, that it's filtered out before it gets to your engine. So even little details like that have been well thought through by GS. And moving around slightly, I've just taken the air filter element off just so you can see a bit better. We've got a centrally mounted differential with vented brake discs on either side, so you've got the twin braking effect either side of a central differential. The differentials are oil filled, and you use different viscosities of oil to change the effect that they have. So you've got a centre diff, there's a differential in the front and a differential in the rear, all are tuned with different thicknesses or viscosities of oil to give slightly different handling characteristics, and that's something that as you get into racing you'll really appreciate. So of course everything is balanced down the centre line, so we've got the engine just off centre here, we've got the receiver battery and what have you balancing out the engine, so it's intuitively everything balanced down the car itself. And if you literally pick this up and balance it, you'll find that the centre line of gravity is very close to the centre line of the car for optimum performance. So looking at the car down the right hand side, which is basically the electronic side, we've got the steering servo which is laid down, we've got an adjustable servo saver here, we've got the stood up throttle and brake servo here, and then just this side of it is an odd piece of plastic that sticks out, and that's actually a transponder mount. So if you get into racing, which is I think the focus of this vehicle, then that's where you would mount your timing device, or the transponder as it's called. Then moving behind that, we've got this enclosed radio box for the batteries and the radio receiver, which takes 4 AA batteries. Okay, and then we've got this convenient on-off switch here just at the back. Moving to the back of the car, I'll just remove the wing so you can see the adjustable rake angle for the wing mechanism. You've got a number of holes here so you can adjust the attack angle of the wing, again according to track and race conditions. Now the rear end of this car, as we get low down, is beautifully engineered. We've got these very thick top links which really reflect the amount of punishment that this car is going to be able to take. A nice thick drive shaft which is actually tapered towards the outer hub. So we've got those nice thick roll bars which are connected through ball joints, so nice slick fluid movement. And talking about fluid movement, of course we've got these alloy shock bodies which are very smooth in their operation, and you can just appreciate how slick that is. And of course you want the suspension just to soak up the undulations in the track surface, so they are really superb. As we move across now, you'll be able to see inside the hub there we've got the ball bearings. It's large diameter bearings in the wheel hubs. You can also see adjustable positions for the top link again to really fine tune the handling. And what's possibly not obvious here is that the hub can move forwards and backwards in the lower wishbone, again to adjust the handling characteristics. So moving round to the front, we've got another thick metal front shock tower with multiple holes, again just for those fine tuning for race events. As you go down the shock, again another very slick and fluid, well damped movement with the oil damped shocks with these beautifully machined bodies. Then as you get further down into the wheel hub, we've got pillow ball suspension at the front, which makes it adjustable for track width as well as camber angle. The drive shaft here is a CVD drive shaft. It's not a dog bone as you might see in lesser models. It is the full CVD, so it is actually connected here via a joint. You can again appreciate the huge bearings that are in the hubs. Just everything about this is says it's about quality and performance, and that's really what this buggy is focusing on. Now we're still looking at the front end of the buggy. This is the front upper wishbone on the offside, and then you can see we've got a clip here now, commonly referred to as caster clips. The bag of plastic parts that you saw right at the beginning of the video, that's where that package comes into its own, because in that package you've got different thicknesses of clip, which allows you to move this wishbone forwards and backwards and adjust the caster angle. Again, another key feature to getting that that handling just in that sweet spot how you like it. So the radio in a closer detail now. Of course it's 2.4 gigahertz as we have touched on. So of course, again, no need to change any crystals, or there's none of that. You can run your model without fear of clashing frequencies, which makes it perfect for the race environment. Moving on to the steer wheel itself, the way it's constructed with this a really nice tactile foam around the steer wheel makes it very comfortable, and there's a good deal of feedback and precision involved in the way it centres. It's really quite nicely made. We've got this great backlit LCD display showing the voltage of the radio itself. Now it only takes 4 batteries, and when the voltage drops below 4 volts, there's an audible buzzer and some flashing going on there, so you don't risk losing control of your vehicle through a lack of power in the radio. Moving on from there, it has digital trims. So obviously to get your car to run in a straight line, you need to trim the steering usually, and that's an electronic feature here. So that's saved with the each time you switch the radio off. And talking of which, you can control or save up to 15 models on this radio. So if you've got a number of different models you want to be able to control, you can literally just select which one you want, and it will remember the setup that was used last for each model. So a really nice additional feature. And then moving on, the actual adjustment features within the radio are superb too. You've got endpoint adjustment, which is limits the movement of the servo, so the steering servo, the physical lock on the car, you can adjust the maximum amount, as well as obviously the throttle. We've got the steering and throttle speed, so if you've got some very fast servos going, then you can take the edge off that and make your car respond that little bit smoother to your inputs. We've got exponential, which I can only describe as a bit like if you're driving your car at speed in a straight line down a motorway, you'd put very small subtle steering inputs in to make the car change lanes. Similarly with RC, if you add some exponential, then you can make your car a little bit slower to respond, or lazier to respond around the centre point of the steering, which makes it easier to control and keep in a straight line at high speed, but you don't lose out on the amount of steering lock available. So again, a really super race focused feature there, makes it easier to control. And then of course we've got the anti-lock brake system, so as it says, it will mimic a pulsing braking effect as you go onto the brakes by modulating the braking servo and causing the brakes to cycle on and off, helping you retain control over that loose surface. So a really really beautifully engineered bit of radio kit included with this superb package. So the CL1 RTR is a superb buggy in essence. I have to say, I feel like we've not even scratched the surface of the potential of this car. We've not talked about the upgrades that are available if you wanted to go down that route, of which there are many. But I think in essence this vehicle is about that just perfect blend between ready to run fun, and you could just buy this and blast it around a local track and have a huge amount of fun, or you could take it to the next level. It's so versatile as an overall package, and at this price it's unbelievable value, I have to say. The only thing that you're going to need other than what's in the box as it comes is some batteries for the radio and the car, so a total of 8 batteries. Now we offer them as in a rechargeable format here, direct from Nitro. You can add those to your order, and of course you will need some quality fuel. Now a quality car like this really does demand quality fuel, and we would always recommend Model Technics. And of course, again, you can add that to your order here. So 25% nitro fuel and you'll be away. So that's it. Thank you ever so much for watching yet again, and I'll see you next time.